The Axe's brain definitely does move pretty fast. We've seen that many times. And honestly, so does 2Saints in all those tight situations. I don't think this is a matchup that I've seen 2Saint play much or maybe even at all.
I was going to say, I'm actually, I'm curious if they've played before. Potentially, I wonder if at the summit that 2Saint was at, if they played at that summit.
They, at least in friendlies, I'm sure.
I'm sure.
And a little up air. Doesn't do much damage, but a couple of them puts 2Saint in a position where Axe wants them to be.
Getting up into up smash percentage, though, right?
Yeah. I mean, that was like, yeah, the nairs and up airs don't do much damage, but, 9 of them in a row is going to add up. Something I noticed about this matchup is even more so than in Fox Puff. This is a matchup where Axe has previously been willing to let the up smash rip.
Yeah. I think also that Thunder is going to be very important, right?
Like that.
Because you don't have a great option when you're far away from Puff.
Mm-hmm. It is sort of like a free little poke, and if they mess up, they get hit by Thunder. Maybe even they lose their stock for it. Yeah, I think what's really nice about Pikachu in comparison to Fox, since there are some similarities in the matchup, is that up smash, if you reach for it with Pikachu, most of the time, if you do it in a position where you're trying to read a drift in, it leads to just one back air like that.
Yeah.
So if you're at even mid or somewhat high percents, you can afford to let that up smash rip a few times. What you need as 2Saint is not to be like sort of lulled into the up smash.
What's interesting, too, is we started off by, we had Rishi versus Franz, and we saw that Marth Doc on this stage had a lot of Marth holding this center triangle and not letting the floatier Doc land. Axe has been kind of employing a similar strategy of basically holding center stage when 2Saint has been on a platform and making 2Saint kind of play platform tag, moving around the platforms so that they could not get in.
There is one key difference.
Yeah.
Puff's pretty good in the air and can fly around forever. Yeah.
Right.
Puff's superpower is the ability to disengage. I'm not trying to...
That is the difference, though, too, is that if Puff has a lead, less impactful.
Yeah.
Right? So now we're going to be seeing this same strategy, basically, Axe is now forced to approach. Whereas before, Axe was the one with the lead, okay to just kind of sit around and run around the center. Now Axe, down a stock, has to go in.
Yeah, which is ultimately what you want is to employ that strategy we're talking about. Even if Puff can just not engage for a while, as long as you remain in the stronger position, who really cares?
Yeah.
But now you don't have that choice because the first stock did take, for each side, it was about 2 minutes.
Yeah.
Like, it was on pace to time out. So you do really have to consider that you need to rush a little bit.
Calls out that Pikachu recovery with a back air and puts Axe in a sticky situation here. Goes for the Thunder and gets punished for it, but not too bad.
Yeah, no true punish from the drill from 2Saint on that earlier edge guard. Instead, goes for a little read and counterpoke something with a back air. Speaking of counterpokes, once again, beating the up air with a back air. You can't afford to keep trading percent like this if you're Axe.
See, Axe holding center stage, but recognizes that he needs to find moments to go in. 2Saint just finds an up smash.
Let me tell you what, it's feeling like we're in for the long haul in this set, doesn't it? Yeah, because it's going to be pretty close.
Axe has been showing real patience, even though Axe is down, which is good.
You need to. If there's 4 minutes to burn, you cannot just go in at the earliest opportunity every time.
Yeah.
That time catches the landing with up air and is able to get a lot of tempo off of it, if not a lot of true follow-up, right?
I see what you did there. Tempo.
Yeah, that was an accident, but yeah.
I think I didn't see it.
Fully on purpose. We take credit for it, just like when you do a tech club that works out.
Yeah. Axe being very patient, but at the same time, we are seeing Axe, unfortunate missed rest from 2Saint there, will lead to a kill. We are seeing Axe, instead of just staying in that central part of Battlefield, you can even see like the color difference, right? This like central area that is a little bit darker in Battlefield, where the like little alien ball is. Axe, happy to kind of stay in that earlier, now is actually extending out further underneath the platforms because of this lead, right?
Yeah.
Effectively saying, I know that center stage is good, but it's more important that I'm underneath you than just holding center.
Yeah, and even though there's like 3.5 minutes left, 2Saint, although you probably don't plan on timing out Axe here, you can play. Wow.
Gotta think about it a little bit now. It's scary.
Yeah, well, I was thinking you sort of plan to run the clock so that it can be a possibility in case Axe is able to make a comeback. But here's the problem, Seth, is we're already here. There are still over 3 minutes left, and it's last stock.
10% on 2Saint.
And actually going to get 2Saint on these platforms has worked out really well. 2Saint has not found a good way to reliably land on platforms without being up air.
Forward smash sets up that edge guard, but it didn't. It just kind of came out of nowhere.
I think the real problem for Axe at this point is the percent difference. Even after whiff punishing, we got one there.
Axe did such a good job of not getting hit, but now that it's gotten a little bit closer, Axe has not been able to find center stage and do that same wall of kind of dash dance aerials that they were able to do before.
I think good on 2Saint to recognize, like, hey, I haven't been landing safely on platforms. Let's change the pace a little bit. I have the percent lead. Let's just see if we can trade out a couple more hits and end the game.
So tense here as Axe has been able to pull it back, but not been able to find a footing on this last 2Saint stock.
Tech's away. Yeah, again, Puff can't always cover Tech away.
Axe so close to pulling off this comeback. Has to find a combo into something. Up smash is getting close to the point where it could kill. I'm not sure if it would at 49%, but that up smash does it. Huge win from 2Saint there to bring that game back into control after losing it.
And we learned some really valuable things because 2Saint pulled ahead a bunch and started to back off, and that strategy of playing slowly actually didn't go very well. Axe was able several times to snipe a landing on a side plat or even the top plat, get an up air that led to a couple of aerials and put on 20 to 30%, and rinse and repeat until it was at a percentage where an up smash would kill. So really, that didn't work out so well, and 2Saint could not, in those moments, find a way to, trade a back air even once. So Axe was like at that last stock 40% range for a couple stocks in a row.
It'll be interesting here on Pokemon. Not just because they're both Pokemon, but to see how if Axe's game plan changes a bit, right? We don't have that top platform, so it'll be interesting if he dash dances in between these gray lines of that kind of demarcate the center of Pokemon, right?
Yeah, the no top plat, I mean, you might think to yourself, there are still plats. Does it make that much of a difference? The answer is yes. Those are very reachable platforms. And I mean, in fact, some characters' grounded moves can reach through, and you see even a short hop up air, which is quick and non-committal, is able to get to the plats, and Axe is putting them out every now and then already.
I think Axe, too, just so happy to be underneath the Puff, effectively just able to run back and forth with neutral airs, things like that, up airs, getting these little pokes, right? They can set into situations, goes for a forward smash, and is able to get punished for it, but 2Saint also gets punished for the rest, and we're back to even.
Yeah, they end up trading out the stocks. You know what we haven't seen from Axe yet either is I think if it's the, and Pikachu mains, don't get too mad at me, I think it's the tail flip hitbox at that mid to higher percent, where you can full hop onto the platform and then you're eventually able to get to an up smash.
Absolutely.
We haven't seen it yet, but it's possible. I know I've seen it at least once before. Yep, still using this up air to try to launch 2Saint, wrench him from the platforms. Wrench them from the platforms, apologies.
Yeah, it's interesting too because Axe has been doing such a good job of kind of staying center stage, but then overshooting on these aerials has led 2Saint into better situations where they've been able to actually kind of capitalize, right? So I'm very curious to see if Axe is just going to try and keep this center stage kind of aerial wall going, because when they go out further, that is when Axe has been vulnerable.
Yeah, and I mean, here's the problem. In so many matchups, it's very difficult to edge guard Pikachu, right?
Yeah.
And it's not... And it's worth it to go off stage and try to get that early kill. Puff is just going to fly back to the stage anyway, for one. And also, even if Puff's not able to fly back to the stage necessarily, Puff has some ability to punish Axe.
Yeah.
I mean, we've seen that so far this set. Several times Axe having to up B back to the stage and then ending up getting hit or even KO'd for it.
Goes for the Thunder combo there. Not able to connect. Would have been nice.
I think it's a read because you can't get it in time. So was guessing DI in.
You're kind of guessing where they're going to be drifting.
Yeah. But I mean, guessing inward is, the most common thing to do. So.
And a nice back air there from Axe. I can't believe I just said nice back air, but at the same time,
check it off on the bingo cards. Check it off.
But I will say why I think that's such a nice back air is that a big thing during Summit was Swift talking about Axe integrating more back airs into his game plan, right? It's not something that Axe, I think, has done kind of, he's more of a Nair Pikachu kind of rush down, right? Yeah. Whereas the back air kind of contorts Pikachu into this strange position, and it is, very similar, almost like a Falco, kind of turning their back to the corner and throwing out back airs. It can kind of lead to some just little bit cleaner kills.
Yeah, I mean, almost most notably in this particular match is that killed at like 100 or so.
Exactly,
which is pretty good.
A Nair would not have done that. A Nair is going to set up a situation, whereas the back air is actually going to get the kill. Very pivotal sequence here. The Thunder's going to hit that time, though, and Axe is able to get back here. That is what the Pokemon fans want to see.
I think that connected truly. And so now Axe is in a situation where he is in fact up in stocks and percent, which is a much different look from last game.
Indeed. We're going to see if Axe's kind of center stage dash dance aerial attack will work out. He gets a little bit greedy, gets out of that zone, and that leads to a 2Saint up smash to even things out.
There have been a couple counter hit up smashes from 2Saint. They've been really important so far for this set.
And it's not like 2Saint's just been throwing them out. There's been, very specific times, and they've worked a very high percentage of the time. I think I've only seen one miss.
2Saint has the killer instinct. Went for an up tilt out there in the corner, expecting Axe to try to get away. Axe was just patient enough to stay in shield and not get rested like that, because up tilt rest is a threat.
It is such a difference when you see these top players. You see how patient they can be on defense. Sometimes sitting in shield is your best option, and sometimes just waiting to see what happens is your best option, as Axe did there, waiting to see what 2Saint would do. 2Saint just kind of floats in a bit.
Yeah, it was an ill-advised pound. It just leaves you in so much lag, really.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that'll lead to a Skull Bash kill as we see a 1-1 here. We're going to be seeing 2Saint's first counter pick.
Dreamland.
Yes, we will be seeing Dreamland.
Oh, it's FD.
Wow.
Okay. Going to no platforms. We thought the platforms were useful before. Well, I guess maybe 2Saint recognized that platform strat did not work out as well as expected. And in a way, it's even harder to approach Puff here because you cannot maneuver around the platforms up and over. And when you do try to make these full hop reads like Axe has, with like full hop up air, for example, right? And I'm just reasoning through this now. Then it's more of a commitment because there's no way to mix up whether you're going to land to a platform, jump to a platform, wave land, or fall through, right?
Yeah.
There's all these different things you can do after an aerial, and we've seen it a few times. It's actually kind of been a theme from this top 96 block, where many players have been using the platforms to do a full hop read and make themselves safe.
Yeah.
Can't do that on FD. There's no plats.
The other thing too, right, is that 2Saint will be able to more easily set up a kind of a wall of pain. Because Pikachu's not going to be able to just jump on platforms to get around it, right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely. It's easier to set up a sort of wall because there's so many less places to maneuver. Yep, I still think playing center stage kind of like this is Axe's move because being off stage has not been kind to him. A down air to come back.
Oh, great little jab reset.
Yeah, and able to get a somewhat charged forward smash. That's good damage. Up smash is in that range now. Yep, and that's exactly what he gets off of that ledge dash.
That's what Axe needs here. A 2-stock lead on 2Saint's counter pick. Always good when you can turn an opponent's counter pick into your own.
That down smash, maybe I played too many Peaches, but that down smash hit for like 2 straight seconds and it did 13 damage.
Can always be worse, you know?
I guess it could be worse, yeah. Okay. What was that? He went Pika. Was that a Skull Bash, like forward B? Maybe accidentally? Oh, no. It was Thunder Jolt. Okay. Yeah, it was probably Thunder Jolt. Even still, it may be a strange choice.
Could be seeing a Thunder there.
Oh,
Don't see Axe go for it.
Yeah, instead zips to the ledge and able to get a little up air off. And I think when you're this far ahead, getting this little damage at a time is huge, yeah.
That was an interesting little interaction there because Axe just was dash dancing back and forth and shielded, and then dash danced, shielded, and then that time he actually got hit, up smashed out of shield, right? So he was definitely looking for some sort of hit on his shield to up smash out of.
Yeah, I think you've made a really critical discovery. That it seems like in this particular matchup between these particular players, whoever's attacking into the other one is very skilled, like we just see here, at counter-attacking with particularly up smash, with some strong move, right? They're very good at catching each other with counter hits.
Indeed.
And so it's definitely going to be a lot of waiting.
Oh, 1 Thunder, 2 Thunder, 3 Thunder, 4.
Only the first one hits though.
Axe misses the Skull Bash. Will we see more?
Nice.
Very hard for 2Saint here. Already at high percent. 3 stocks on Axe.
I kind of like the idea of using that down air on the edge because you have the landing hitbox too, right? So if Puff gets up, you'll at least hit her.
Axe not pushing.
Yeah, 2Saint slowed down even more from before. And I guess part of that is Axe is not taking unnecessary risks.
No, Axe playing this very safe here.
Yep.
Just waiting for another pound. I mean, that's 2 games in a row where a pound has led to death.
I think that pound was less of a recovery move, though, and more of a resignation that this game is just about done and I'm ready to get out. If this hits, great. It could be big and I get you off stage and have a chance. If it doesn't, that's okay, too. It's the end of it. But I think you do need to take those big gambles in order to come back, because we saw Axe was not biting. I think we hit a point where 2Saint recognized, like, okay, Axe isn't just throwing himself off stage. I need to make something happen or go next.
Yeah.
And that's what that pound was right at that moment. Oh, putting in the AirPods.
Yeah, 2Saint taking a second.
Music begins.
I've been waiting to rain this tournament for the first time. I've been playing some friendlies with it. I haven't noticed any problems with it. I feel like that's the only jewelry, though, that you could wear. I only bring it up because 2Saint's wearing some rings.
It's ring finger for you, which I think is okay. I think index finger's tough, right?
I think 2Saint had an index finger ring, which was interesting. Maybe not. Maybe I'm just, the inversion on the camera, but...
Yeah, it could be one of those players that, like, does all of the stuff with one trigger, and so doesn't even need that trigger where that finger is.
Yeah, I guess index finger would be pretty wild.
Okay.
Axe deciding just to go take a tour of Dreamland, see the bottom side of the pineapple.
Yeah. I mean, I think that it was a statement, like, oh, I'm not in a rush.
Yeah.
I know what you're thinking. You're one of those Puff players right now who's willing to think, maybe I can just war of attrition them. Maybe I can tire them out. But Axe is trying to show that he has the juice. He's willing to just go off stage and wait.
Yeah.
It's fine.
And we are on Dreamland. Obviously a great stage for Puff, but Pikachu has a lot of survivability here.
Yeah, they both do, honestly.
Yes.
The up smash will take longer to kill for sure. Both up smashes have been actually important. Yeah.
Very important moves in this set. I would say it might be 2Saint's most popular kill move.
It might be. I think it is, because back air has only been a couple of times.
Yeah.
There's been some ledge grabs, but that's about it.
Honestly, it's been rare that either character has edge guarded the other, right?
Yes.
Mostly been kills off the top of the sides.
Sometimes they get a hit, but very rarely is it an actual KO.
That's what happens when you have a battle of 2 highly survivable characters. It's not about the sides, it's about the top.
I wonder if on a stage like Dreamland, if it's even more exacerbated, or if you're more likely to get off the side kill since the ceiling's so high. It probably just depends on just how strong the up smashes are.
Yeah.
I'm thinking in this matchup, it's still probably really relevant to kill off the top on Dreamland.
And this is the downside to Dreamland. It is an area for Axe just to kind of camp this center triangle and say, if you kind of come in, I can hit you with a stray aerial, get some damage. It'll be very important who gets this first stock.
And just as a note, it's first stock 2 minutes off the clock.
Yep.
So this is one of those slow-paced matchups, and Axe showed very early on, I'm willing to go to time. Even though 2Saint has the lead.
I was going to say, I mean, Axe here has the percent disadvantage, but Axe more than happy to say, I'll run around in the middle here.
Yeah, I think from the center of the stage, maybe not anymore, but previously, Axe actually probably is closer to a kill, right? Because it will take something like overextending into another one of those up smashes to finish Axe's stock, as long as you have the more advantageous stage position. Whereas in up smash, KO early. Leffen's not here, right? Okay, we don't have to talk to him about airtime limits.
No Leff in the building. Leffen, if you're watching at home, hello.
I'm not saying we won't have to. Leffen, if we are ever together, I would love to talk to you about it. That's not what I mean, but... Okay, up air, hits 2Saint up once again.
We're approaching 3 minutes. Neither person's taking a stock here. This is a war of attrition, a battle of the minds.
All right, Seth, I'm going to test your psychic powers. Fast forward 4 minutes, 30 seconds. What's this game look like?
4 minutes and 30 seconds?
Yep, there's 30 seconds on the clock left.
Okay. There's 30 seconds on the clock left?
Yep, what do you think? They're still alive, right? Surely the match is still happening.
I'm going to go that it is 2 stocks Axe, 1 stock 2Saint.
And Axe is at high percent? That's how I feel.
Sure.
Okay, we'll see if our prediction comes true.
I mean, the way it's looking, both these players are really content just to run around. Okay. I think 2Saint's recognizing that, I technically am winning. It doesn't feel that way, right? It feels like Axe is actually the one with the lead, based off of how things... Wow, they switched center stage control, and now it feels totally different. But all of a sudden, it's back to normal.
I think that our normal Melee brains just favor whoever's in center stage.
Yeah.
Okay.
And this is huge because we could actually have the first stock, and now the game really begins because now these players are forced to interact with each other.
Yeah, and I mean that edge guard was, you said it was so hard to edge guard before, goes out there and grabs the back air, very important. And that's Puff's one of the few characters that can really afford to do that.
And now we're seeing Axe on these platforms throwing out up smashes, right? Now it's a very different game here. These characters are forced to interact. They are now in the crucible together.
That may have been the most important first stock of the match of the tournament.
Yeah.
First stock of the game, I should say. And
it's interesting. Axe still just going to center stage, and 2Saint's more than happy to just move around. I
think the thing is, you need the timing mix-up. There are still 3 minutes left. Yes. You can't just only approach where it becomes too predictable. And 2Saint, we've seen, has been pretty ready with the counterattacks. This is what you want. I think when 2Saint goes high, like extra high over the platforms, that's Axe's opportunity. Nice. To go and try to catch him just like that.
That is indeed. And we're going to see what happens now. Does 2Saint kind of stay grounded? Do they go up to the platforms? It's very interesting now how the rest of this plays out. We have 3 minutes left and 3 stocks apiece. Unless these players drastically change their play styles, this will be a very, very different game.
Something that I find very interesting, because this doesn't happen in many other matches, is we keep having people like walk by or whatever, right, coming backstage to go to the area, and people keep like looking up and then waiting for a minute. Like, wow, is this really happening?
Yeah.
So you are watching one of those special games, I think. Seth, I think we're in one that's going to be talked about for a little while.
I mean, look, this is a battle of wits, a war of attrition. There's a few things you don't do, and I think it's challenged 2Saint to a stalling battle.
Shoutouts to Ruffian, I think is her tag. Axe's, I assume, significant other or whatever. Yelling every single time Axe gets any hit.
Yep.
The hype is incredible back here. Only 2 minutes remaining. They're exactly even.
56%. We have 2 minutes left, and this is a absolutely nip and tuck battle. I've never been on the edge of my seat so early into a timeout.
I cannot believe he zipped to the ledge there. 2Saint could have just grabbed it. He was dead. Instead, 2Saint went for a forward air, and Axe was able to grab it just a moment ahead of time to get in there.
When a game goes this long,
or even again,
it's hard to tell.
2Saint laughing, recognizing the hilarity of this particular game. This is much different from the Melee we usually see. And Axe is known as someone who really likes to press, right?
Reminder that the onus here is on 2Saint. They are the one that are down. They are down 2-1. This is their counter pick.
And almost like they're in kill percent too, basically.
Absolutely.
Right? They don't just need to get some percent back. They might need to take a stock if this goes the wrong way.
The thing is, where do you find these kill moves? There's a minute left. Axe down 12%. 12% on this stock.
It's going to be very important to count the jumps here. The last couple of, the first 2 double jumps.
2Saint.
One magnifying glass damage.
Less percent.
It wasn't enough to tie it up. And the down air.
That's going to be a lot of pressure on 2Saint now to find 12%. Maybe a straight back air could do that, but Axe, have to wonder if Axe is now the one that's going to be playing a little bit further away from 2Saint.
And he is.
2Saint's still above.
He's keeping the center, but staying on the opposite side of the stage. You know, if I'm Axe, and this is why Axe is a stronger player, I can't help but think about that up smash.
Wow, 2Saint is playing as if they do not know that they need to go in, but they go in, and they're up by a few percent.
The jab doesn't quite get the lead.
This could be a stall situation. We could be going under Battlefield. We could be going under FD. This is absolutely so tight. Which one of these players is going to take the lead? 2Saint needs to get a hit.
Axe steals the lead with 5 seconds remaining.
Who can get it? Axe goes
away.
Axe does it.
Axe gets the victory.
Absolutely incredible set. Axe in a nail biter. The entire venue pumped. What a finish to that set.
And on a razor's edge, Axe barely avoids a forward air underneath of Dreamland. That would have changed everything.
Oh my God, what an end to that set. That was an absolutely incredible set from both players. 2Saint, Axe, just an absolute amazing war of the minds there at the very end.
I've watched a few timeouts. I've commentated a few. I have to say, I don't know that I've been that invested in the timeout from from second one to the end of the game so much. Even in that, there was probably from 6 minutes 30 seconds remaining to 6. I was like, what's going on here?
4 minutes and 30 seconds left. I think we both knew that was going to timeout, and for the rest of that game, I felt like I was on the edge of my seat.
Yeah. It's when both players showed that they had not only the willingness, but the desire to go to timeout, the desire to win that way. That really made it something special.
Absolutely. What an amazing set from those players.
And Axe able to find the most critical nair. And you know what's crazy about it is 2Saint, rather than just running away, had a little scramble on the side with the percent advantage. Remember that?
Yeah.
And decided to keep pressing that advantage.
Yes.
You can't help but think, was that the moment that things really went wrong?
Yeah, we've just got another...
Look at this right here.
That's so close.
Yep.
That's absolutely insane how close 2Saint was to getting that last hit. Oh my goodness.
Yeah.
That Pikachu just blasting off into Dreamland, into the abyss. Oh my God.
And Puff does have like a decent reverse hitbox.
Oh.
Bye. Yeah, that's definitely what Axe did.
A back air might have hit, right? Back air hits and does enough for